what this is showing us is everything that's in the network. One of the things, one of the first things people have to do when they attach My LightStyle to the network is actually come into configuration, because the device is actually set up in DHCP, so it automatically gets an IP address within whatever network it is.
Right.
So it kind of gets automatically assigned when you uncheck the DHCP box, and then you go ahead and assign it its static IP and all of that. And then what is your secure port going to be? It normally comes as 443. You can make it anything you want. I just make it 8443. You can also set up your location, synchronize the computer, or manually adjust the clock, and you would save it and the unit would reboot, and now it's locked in IP and it knows where it lives. The second part comes with device management, because it knows where it is now. Am I installing this in an existing UPB network, or is it going into a brand new system? Because the nice thing about My LightStyle is that I can program, being that it's web-based, I can program with a Mac, Linux, or PC.
Right.
Okay. So under device management, I also have to make the choice of, am I going to use an existing, change the UPB network information, what is the network name, things along that nature, or do I want to go get the network information from a device that's already existing? So from there, if I'm going to leave this alone, then I come back in and I say add UPB devices. Now today, it supports all the PulseWorks products. It supports some of the HAI products and some of the SAI products. And the reason being that it doesn't support all of them now is we don't know all of the memory maps, or meaning all of the functions and the features and sets that you can actually set and use in the software.
Right.
We've requested them, we haven't received them yet. So I'm making this an open, totally open. It's not just a PulseWorks piece. I mean, UPB is our technology. We want to support all of it. Right. So it's a matter of getting that. So now, if I had an existing system, I would say add devices as they're found and say find all in network, and it would just go out and crawl the network and pull all that information in. What it's not going to pull in would be the link names. It's a link number because the names are not stored in the devices.
Right.
So in a larger job, then you got to go back in and look at your Upstart file, and it's kind of easy to do. I mean, the goal is to actually be able to take an Upstart file and dump it right into the MLS, but that's still a ways off. So if I want to find a device, I can actually, I can say find devices. It's going to tell me go put the device in setup. It'll go out and then read the information, kind of put it kind of in the side, and then grab it, and then we'll see it kind of show up in the area. Now, this already knows it's already been added. It's already been assigned unit number 5.
Right.
So I can't come in and change it. So what I could do,
So this is a full Upstart replacement if you have a PCS network.
yes, yeah. I mean it's an advanced. There's some features that are in here that aren't in Upstart, and there's a bunch of features in Upstart that aren't in here. It's just a matter of development time to get there. So it is a different way of programming, and I can show you some of that.
But that's the plan, to be able to live without Upstart.
I don't think there's going to be. I don't think Upstart's ever going to go away. I really don't. Yeah, and a lot of that isn't in here as of yet. But at the same time, Upstart actually developed the technology. It just depends on it's just a different way of doing it. So Apple guys, boom, they're gonna use this. They have to. So what this is, I just factory defaulted that switch, so it found it. It put it in it as number 6. What's the device name? So let's say I'm done adding devices, so I can just keep walking around the house and adding new devices as I go. So I'll say done, and then what this will enable me to do is come in and assign the room name, the device name, and we have a lot of network wireless. It's just been a bit of a nightmare here. I can come in here and update. I can give it the device name. So I'll call this the kitchen. What room is it in? Unit ID has already been assigned. and do I want to keep the default things or not, and I want to erase it, I'll say okay. So now I can go ahead and say add found devices, so I can modify all this stuff, and now it's going to go actually write this information down into the unit and actually add it to my network, and it will show up on my design pane. Now one of the things is we have 3 different versions of this. We have we call a 256 IRP, which will handle 256 nodes. It'll take IR inputs, and the P stands for the PIP. So all of a sudden we have the PIP package with it. We have a 1024P. There's no IR in, it'll do 1024 nodes. Or we have a 1024 IRP, which will do the IR in 1024 nodes. Now, what's a node? That's the next question. A node is how you register a UPB device within the device, because I can have it as it's, I mean, it's still adding here, but a wall switch comes in as a single node, but I would probably not want on my iPhone or iPad wall switch and the rockers to show up as one line item. So I want to separate the transmit and receive version. So I want to control the load. Right. I don't need the transmit stuff, so I don't need to actually see that on my thing. So that would be, if I separate it to 2 nodes. Huh?
Chip.
Chip? Oh, yeah. So I could have the transmit, so that would be 2 nodes. If I made it detailed, it's now 3 nodes. So it's a matter of, so now it's been added, I can turn around and say done. And we'll see it over here, and this has to do with our network here at the show.
You're plugged into the power wires here?
I'm sorry?
You're plugged into the power line here?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a lot of noise here, and we're doing everything, and that's the beauty of UPB over Insteon. Okay? So what I'm looking at here is that device that's been added. So it's device number 6, kitchen rocker and load. If I look at it, it's pink, so it's showing kind of all the stuff. One of the things I always do to start is change the layout, and I separate the load from the device. So now kitchen load is, 6 kitchen load is the name of the device. I can rename that. And if I rename this, instead of, I don't want to see 6 kitchen load on it, I can say rename. I'll call it kitchen. Because kitchen, now I can rename this device only, or everything associated with it, meaning the rockers, and give them sub. So just for simplicity, I'm just going to name that kitchen. So as I look at this tree, as I looked at my app, I would see all on. I'd see front yard, kitchen, living room on, and kitchen. This was another device we had before. But I can come in here now, and I can now set all the parameters. These are the main parameters: the fade rate, on single tap, on level, things like that. I hit all properties, and now I can get into all my auto off timers, my LED stuff, all of those different things that you normally do in Upstart. There are multiple tabs. Now it's in just 2 locations.
Excellent.
Now I could look at this device. It's on. It's telling me its status. If I dim the device down, it'll update. But I'll also, if I look at my scene responder right now, it has no scenes. This will actually display where everything is, what scenes I'm part of. And I'll show you in just a moment how we can do that. And you know what? I know what I didn't do to show the properties. I did not turn the transmit report light level. I need to turn that on. So, and it writes to it in real time. So I can shut the writing in real time off by checking this green dot. And there's all kinds of little help wizards.
Right. So
if I'm going to be actively changing different things around, I can do that. But if I want my single tap to come on at 90%, my double tap to go to say 50% or whatever, it's actually writing that down to the device in real time. So, and it now knows it's actually 44%. So if I brighten it up, I mean,
it's pretty quick.
right there. Okay. So we would add a keypad the same way. This is a 6-button keypad. That's the on button itself. I can look at the keypad, and it's controlling this on button. Is triggering the living room. I'll do the kitchen one here. I'm just going to remove this from the scene real quick, just to kind of be able to add it back and show you how we can kind of do that. So one of the nice things about this is I can choose the kitchen light, right? Well, and actually it's this one here. kitchen light here. I can hold down my control. I can grab the kitchen button, and I can grab the LED for that device, and I can right-click and I say add to scene, and any one of my scenes that I kind of already developed, or I can actually add it to a new scene. Let me just say to add a scene, I go here and I'll go kitchen. We'll call it kitchen 2. I've added a new scene, and it's now showed up right here. Okay.
Wow.
So let's come back. All right. So I go to that's the kitchen load, the kitchen button, and the LED of that device, and I can right-click, add the scene, and I go to kitchen 2. Okay. They've all been added to that scene very quickly. Now I can come down to my kitchen scene and I can look at it. What level do I want the light to come to? Okay, 70%. And this is one of the bugs right now that I'm aware of, is because I'm programming this into an 8 button, the LED doesn't show up. Okay? If I put it into my 6 button, and I'll just grab, my 6 button unit, I can just show you up here. It's 60%. These are all the different devices, and then here's the LED tracking, and we're doing the same thing on, off, right in, all on, all off. What function I want to do. So we don't sell a ton of 8-button controllers. So at this point, and it's one of those things. The guys, I'm waiting on an update. Like get back from the show.
Right.
So all of a sudden, I can visually kind of see what's going on here. I can activate it, I can deactivate, do anything I want to do manually right from the scene. So the other thing I can do is I can actually add folders. So when I'm viewing things on my in my app, it doesn't just be this long laundry list.
Right.
And this is one of the other bugs right now. I can come in here and I cannot add a link unless I reboot the thing, and I can add a folder. So, not reboot, but just exit out and then come back in. I can add another folder. It's just a little pain in the ass thing that
No, that's all right.
I found out. So I think you can see it's real easy to set all of your manual functions, things like that. I could actually literally disconnect this, and my system is going to work. My LEDs are going to track, and I got all my programming. Okay. So where some of the power comes into this is in the programs of. What do I want to have a program be? Let's make a new program. I'll call it Cocoon. I spelled it wrong. But what do I want to do? Do I want to schedule it? Do I want to make this? What's the first statement I want it to be? Schedule, condition, action, or comment. So I want to schedule, and what time? Sunrise, sunset. So at sunset. Add the if, and the condition of the status of the front yard is off, right? Add the if, and then what I want to do is I want to do an action. I want to send UPB, turn the kitchen light, kitchen on, add it done.
Now, what other options did you have? I saw references to LED.
Right. So that's a basic thing. So one of the things under conditions can be UPB. We don't send X10.
Right.
I can notify. I can send emails or texts. I can do a program, so I can run another program. So if this program had been enabled or has been run, I can wait. I can repeat it. I can do a variable. I can also adjust a scene. So I could do dinner time and then brighten it or dim it or something like that. Or a system which could have something to do with one of our other software modules in here. So that's a condition here of something, and then is it on, off, is it an LED, is a device at a specific percentage of, say, a device. Now I could also say if the LED is on, do something. So I can really start to get, the matrix can get a little crazy very quickly.
Right.
So I can say then, now if it's else, then I can say add to else. And this probably doesn't make any sense. So if this and that, do that. But if it's only this, else, do that. So all of a sudden I can start to layer my different things.
Right.
I mean, it can get really, really crazy if you want. I really don't think a lot of people are going to get all into that, because by the time our type of clientele gets into that, they're usually a higher end controller. So, you know,
Nice to have that.
yeah. Now, in the end, when that's all said and done, you know, I can also do comm tests from any one of the devices, or, you know, basically the PIP or PIN, which is my front end, to any other device. Or I could go to a scene that is all devices, and it'll go do a comm test to every piece. When this is and it'll tell me unit, signal strength, noise level, test time. So I can do all my, pretty much, this is basically a device to device, or I could say repeater to everything, and I can do a repeater test.
Right.
I also have a log view. I have diagnostics, event viewer, seeing what's actually going on. I mean, kind of in real time. You want to get into the real basics of UPB. Okay. So that's kind of in comm. Under file, I can actually back up my LightStyle. So I've got, as an installer, a record of what was there. I can, if something happens, I can restore it to another unit.
Right.
I can also change my username and password, and I can have a theme depending on what size my computer screen is, how things adjust within that.
What's the internet access feature?
I'm sorry?
The internet access feature. What's that all about?
Basically, that was done within the configuration. By opening the port, you're doing that.
All right.
Okay. Tools, I can have logs, I can have trends, different things that are going on within the home as well. Now, the other thing is we can add software modules in here. So if I want to affect to weather, I can have a weather bug app. I can put in a network app, so all of a sudden I can have this talk to global cache. Mm-hmm. So because I push this on button, if I got that link between Monday and Friday, this day, that day, and it's after 5, turn on the TV.
Right.
Okay. There's also a Brultec module that goes with this, so I can work with all the Brultec equipment, the current meters, and can actually set programs if then of what my electricity pricing is. Go shut things down.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, these are just different icons to do it. So in the end, when this is all set up, I can also learn IR commands from a remote and say, if I receive this IR, then go do this lighting or something else, or what's my electricity base priced on. And there's other, modules that can be added onto here. And I can actually do a Flex Alert thing right off the website. So now, depending on how I set this up, the primary devices or folders are what show up in your app. So this is actually okay. So Conductor is our app. This is actually, I believe, connected to my house. The apps. This is the Android version. I can go into my lighting devices. I have whatever folders I have set up for the rooms. I go into the kitchen. All the different devices are off at this moment. I can tap the device and I can slide it, turn it on, turn it off. A nice feature about it is I can actually press and hold, and it'll go and send a command out to turn the devices on. So all the cans in my kitchen in California just got turned on. Okay? And I can just press and hold, so it's a quick way to do different things. I can also, the app here, the Android app also supports IP cameras, so I have an IP camera in the office that now would enable me to actually see the lights, what's going on in the house. So I could actually have it, if a light isn't turned on by 5, send me a text, I can then, call my wife or whatever, or if the door opens, I can actually go into an IP camera and look at it.
Right.
So that's native within my LightStyle. I can actually have multiple cameras, and I can, the weather is done by my zip code, so it's 66 in LA right now. It's kind of cold.
Yeah, really.
I can also set if-thens depending on the barometric pressure, the temperature, what it feels like, things along that nature. Now, I also can choose in my settings what location. So now I'm going to go into a different My LightStyle unit that's now at the office. Now I'm in the PCS My LightStyle. So I can actually come into here and see, actually I need to sync this. No, it's not. I can turn the dock lights on. And I could actually come back to the camera. And I actually have Channel Vision is one of our IP camera partners, so we've got one of their cameras as their office. And I actually come into PCS, and the dock lights are on here in the lower left-hand corner. And they got all these other lights on, so it's not showing up. But we actually have a live unit that guys can go into and use and play. And I'm more than happy to share that with you so people can actually see and do things in real time.
That's pretty cool.
So
seems to be pretty smooth as well.
yeah. Now the other apps that we have, I don't have my Wayne has his iPhone. But we've got there's two different iPhone or iPad apps. We got My LightStyle by Mobile Link. This is more of a graphical devices. I can turn things on or off from the unit, turn the switch on or off. I can actually hit the buttons on the keypads. And again, the wireless here has been insane.
Yeah.
So I have devices. I could have my scenes. I can turn them on and off. We're working on a different icon instead of a wall switch. I could have my favorite devices, which I haven't set anything up as favorites. I could also go into what are my programs. This different, sunset, it's false, it wasn't run yet. These are false. So all of a sudden I can look at my programs, and I've also got different tools, which is where I actually set up my lighting controller. I put in my IP address, my username and password, my secure one as well, and I can actually sync it, through Wi-Fi or through cellular, depending on what you have here.
Right.
So this is a very easy, and obviously we have network issues, but what's nice about this is they have 4 different images that rotate through depending on the time of day. So at sunrise, you can have a sunrise picture during the day this is a daily picture, evening, and then night. So this will change as you choose, which is, and you can put whatever JPEG in there you want.